Hi, my name is Jude Matias, otherwise known as Jude the Lesbian. I want to start by saying first and foremost, my mission for this video blog isn't to slander or to defile anyone's reputation. I'm not here to talk about, what someone did that was just my opinion. I'm here to talk about the truth and what happened to me. My mission is to bring borderline personality, a person who suffers from borderline personality disorder and who is a con artist, to justice. It took me many years and the steps to really come to terms to what happened to me and what she did ultimately to bring me to this point. You might be wondering what exactly the process, is and what was done or what happens when you're being conned. But just to kind of put it together in a nutshell, also, everything that she's ever done, everything that I went through with this girl, was never intended to be with me. So when I talk about the money that she took from me, when I talk about the emotions that she took from me, when I talk about the abuse, it's to really bring about something more powerful than people realize. The violation occurs when everything she's done to me was never because she cared about me. The moment that she would, have a fit or make me feel guilty about something, those manipulations were driven for money only. The way that it happened is she met me online. She learned every detail about me because I was ready to love again after the loss of my dad. I was ready to be involved in a real relationship. And so she took every bit of that emotion and she used it for her own personal gain. And that's how she does people. I mean, that's how she meets. She meets people who are probably starving and or ready for love, kind people, generous people who are caring and giving. And they're like emotional vampires. They suck the kindness out of you and then turn it into profit. So ultimately, what she's done is made me feel like I had hope of a relationship, hope of a relationship, hope of a relationship. And then it would take something really silly that other people would say, well, why is she mad at you about that? Only to find out later on, only to realize now, later, after it's all done and said, that her main motivation was to keep me there as long as she could and suck me dry emotionally and financially. Because everything she did was financially driven. I mean, from the day I met her, I remember she was having some sort of crisis because they weren't paying her commission on her real estate, on a real estate deal that she did. And I remember I was looking through, trying to find an attorney for her, and, oh, that's not right. And here I was. I mean, she had me advocating for her. She had me stuck to this idea that I needed to help her, that this poor woman was drowning in debt, drowning financially, drowning emotionally. So she makes you the rescuer. Hence her name, Lil to Rescue, which is her email, ironically, or was her email. But they make you the rescue. And little do you know, or that I know, that really it's a never feeling, it's like a never-ending hole. She can take emotionally, financially, but it's never enough. You're never enough. She needs more. She needs more. She needs more. If you're stuck in this situation with someone, whether it's Lillian Diaz, whether it's another person, man or woman, get out, because that's what the emotional vampire does. That's what the financial vampire does. That's what borderlines do. That's what a con artist does. So by definition, do not be fooled by the temptation of really believing that this person, oh my goodness, they love me so much that they're just falling apart. That's part of the game, guys. It's part of who she is. It's part of what borderlines and con artists do. Their job is to make you feel like they are inevitably going to drown and they need you. But if you notice the pattern, like I had to notice the hard way, the minute you give in, they disappear for a few days. I know when I gave her money, she would be gone. And I remember one time, without even realizing what I was dealing with, I started calculating the number of days that she would stay away from me every time I did something for her. Guys, girls, that's emotional vampire. That's financial vampire. That's borderline. That's a con artist. My girlfriend right now, she gives and I give, and we don't keep tabs and we don't count, and I don't expect, and she doesn't expect. We argue, we fight, we fuss. She's called me selfish. I call her selfish. You know, those are typical things that people go through in a relationship. But at the end of the day, we never go to bed angry. We always make sure that we try to resolve whatever we're feeling. And there's never, ever a point in time when whatever she needs from me is going to be solved with money. Because that's what an emotional vampire and a con artist, eventually, that's what they do. They make you feel like you owe me. And that sense of entitlement, the way that she would play my emotions against me and make me feel like I owed her and it was my fault and I needed to and this is what I had to do, and you know, it was just amazing. I'll tell you a quick story. We used to go to Sam's a lot, and one day we were at Sam's and I was buying her meat because I used to buy her meat at Sam's. And I saw this really neat backpack, this Army Swiss backpack that I really liked. Mind you, I took her there to go grocery shopping for meat. And because I knew I was overspending my money, I don't know how she did this, because I knew I was overspending my money. I didn't want to buy the backpack. And I don't know how she did this. And when I look back, I feel like a complete idiot, you know, which is part of the shame and embarrassment, you know. I got over that, but I'm sharing my story with you, so obviously I'm not as embarrassed anymore because, hey, you know, it's over with. I'm here now. But I'm sharing my story because I want you to understand how simple and yet complex this thing really is. We're at Sam's. I'm buying her meat. I'm there because she has no finances to be able to, you know, put food on the table. So I'm helping her. And somehow, I say to her, man, I really like this backpack. And somehow, I managed to believe in this weird, twisted way that she presented this to me. She said, well, get the backpack. You know, just get the backpack, and you don't have to give me the $30 for the manicure or pedicure that you're going to give me this week. Something to that effect. In other words, she made me feel like I'll take away from something that you were going to do for me anyway, and I'll get you this backpack. And I felt so grateful, and I felt so happy. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, I said. But yet it was my money that we were paying for stuff at the register for. So how did that become her gift to me? It wasn't. It was just her way of making me feel at that moment that while I'm spending all this money on her groceries, that I got something out of it. When really, I paid for it. So how is it a gift? Guys, this isn't about money. This isn't about revenge. But it's about a simplicity of emotions that can be abused and twisted and used against your very own self when you least expect it from somebody who knows all too well what buttons to push. And that is really the travesty that occurs. I hope you tune in and continue to watch, because I have a lot more stories to go along with this and a lot of things to back it up. So feel free to join me, write to me, tell me your stories, and I want you to know that you're not alone if you are in a blood-sucking relationship like that. Understand that it is okay, and that you will be okay, and that you can get over this, and that your life really awaits you on the other side when you wake up and when that day comes. Because the justice that I'm seeking for isn't just for me, but it's for you. You just have to decide if you want it or not. And when you do, your friends await you. Thanks for watching.